Good morning, YouTube gang. It's Melo DFS coming to you live and direct. Here to give you my plays for today's 6-game main slate, y'all. Hope everybody's having an amazing Friday, man. To start off their weekend to cash. Feel free to like the video. Please subscribe if you're new or support the channel. I appreciate the love as always. Press that bell icon so you always stay notified for new videos. Let's jump into it. Now, going to the point guard slot, you do have Damian Lillard in another great play against Washington. This is probably the highest implied total in this slate for today. It's a 235 so far that we're looking like in Vegas projection. But going against Wizards, it's an easy spot for Lillard, man. Yes, he had that 36, but going against the Knicks, but he's been balling in the past 5 games. He had that 36, but he had that 51, 50, 50, 35 in the last 5. Has great upside against Washington. Had that 57 last time. 49, 49, 43, 41. This is a great ceiling spot here. Even though he's 9,300, 97, he could give you that 45 to 50 mark here. But we have some other plays, obviously, with the Lakers that, and the whole narrative with Anthony Davis that, and even Whiteside. You got those type of guys where you could try to pay down in the point guard slot for today. So let's look for some savings in the point guards. Now, looking at the point guards, Elfrid Payton is questionable. He's dealing with a personal situation. If he's out, you have Dennis Smith that's also questionable. So if they're both out, you could look at my man Frank the Tank, you know, back at it, 3,900, 3,200 on DraftKings. You know what he did last game? Even when Peyton was playing, he got more minutes, y'all. He had 23 minutes and 37 fantasy point game, 22 in the last 2 games. So going against Phoenix is an easy spot here. They're 26 against opposing point guards, so he could definitely pay up this price tag if he's starting at 3,900 and DraftKings 32 is too cheap. Knowing the upside with him going against Phoenix. All right, another guy I could look into if Bradley Beal, he's questionable. So if he's out, you can also go to Ish Smith at 4,500, 42 on DraftKings. Like I stated before, it's a fast-paced game. It's the highest implied total here. So Ish Smith should definitely pay up this price tag. They're 103 in pace to Portland's 101 in pace. It's going to be a great game in general to definitely target for DFS for today. So he had 24, 35, 25 in the last 3 games. So he has great upside in this spot here. Even if Bradley Beal sits in this play. All right, let's look into our shooting guards for today. Now, going to shooting guards, like I stated before, Bradley Beal, if he's out, then we gotta look into some more savings. So going with a nice savings spot here, you could go down to Gary Payton. You know, he's only 3,800 on FanDuel. Great cheap spot. It's a 7.7 value play. He's projected to get around a 29.2 projection, and he is 4,300 on DraftKings. Great spot for him. He should definitely bounce back. He had a horrible 7 fantasy point game, but you know, he had 21, 40, 32, 47 in the last 5 games. Great game to definitely target. A lot of people might pivot from him because of that dud, but he's in a great upside here, especially if Bradley Beal is out for today. Another guy I could look into is Marcus Smart, 5,100 on both platforms. Kemba Walker is dealing with an issue, so he's questionable for today. So if he's out, Marcus Smart gets a great bump in usage. You know, he's averaging 17% usage, but in 30 minutes, he had 26, 22 in the last 2 games coming from his injury. He had that 48 last game against ATL, so it's a great guy that you could definitely pivot from. That definitely help out on your lines. Another guy you can look into is Josh Richardson at 6K on FanDuel, but 5,900 on DraftKings. Great slot here, 224.5 implied total against Houston, and he has great history against Houston, y'all. 34, 39, 47 in the last 3 games against Houston, and he had that 38 last game, 26, 38, 35. So he's that guy that could definitely pay up this price tag at 6K, even 5,900 on DraftKings. Can give you that 35, 40 plus in this spot here for today. All right, let's look into our next spot, going to the small forwards. Like I stated before with the Lakers, I like LeBron James going against New Orleans. They are garbage. They give up a lot of points, especially against the small forward, even power forward and You can also look at Rondo if he also going to play, because they give up a lot against point guards. So that's another great saving spot for them. But LeBron James just goes ham against the Pelicans. He's only 11,400 on FanDuel, 11,200 on DraftKings. But as you can see, he had a 69 last game. So he's been hitting the 60s in the last two out of 3 games. You know, he had a 56, 64, 62, 61 in the last 4 games against New Orleans. Just got great upside here. All he really needs is 55 and up, especially for value. So you want to look to him to get a good spot. LeBron James in a great play. Now another guy I could look into is Gordon Hayward at 6,900. He is 7K on DraftKings, but knowing the upside, if Kemba Walker is out, he could definitely flourish here. He had a 40, 34 in the last 2 games. Going against ATL is a great spot for him. The 28th against small forwards. The Gordon Hayward is another great slot here for today, for a great play in general. All right, let's look into our next spot at power forward. All right, now going, like I stated before, Anthony Davis in a smashing play. He's only 10,400 on FanDuel, 10,300 on DraftKings, and he's projected to get around a 53.3 projection, and he balled out last game against New Orleans at 63 fantasy points. LeBron James, one of those guys that's going to let him flourish, do his thing. So he's in a great play here against New Orleans. So 31% usage as well, average on the court. So Anthony Davis in a smash and play. Hopefully there's no game time decision or anything, no probable stat. Hopefully just plays, set it and forget it in this spot, because he's in a smashing spot here. Another guy I could look into, even though he's been done in the past few games, Al Horford. You know, he's 5,600. It's too cheap. Knowing the upside with him, he's 5,800 on DraftKings, but going against Houston is a 30.9 projection play, 5.5 value spot for him. Going against Houston, I think they priced him down, knowing that, you know, he hasn't done well against Houston. You know, the last time he had was 46 fantasy point game, but that had been a while back. Had it been at least a couple years back. So knowing that he's been getting around 27 fantasy points in the last 2 games against Houston, I think that's the reason why his price tag went down due to that. But nonetheless, he's too cheap, knowing that his upside is up there. So Al Horford is one of those guys you can look into. Another guy that's been under the radar, Isaiah Hartenstein. I like this guy. You know, he's 47, but he's 45 on DraftKings. Yes, he's in a tough position against Philly, but he's been definitely giving you value. You know, he had 34, 40, 27 in the last 3 games. Somebody you could definitely consider here at a nice little value spot, especially on DraftKings at 4,500 if you can't fit him. If you can't fit no big guys in your line, but I think that Isaiah Hartenstein is in a good spot here. Even with he only had 18 minutes last game with 34 fantasy points. Let's see what the teams he played against. They played against the Nuggets. Now, that's a tough team. 34 fantasy points in 18 minutes. Something to consider. I mean, the Pelicans is obvious. But I think it was Russ that was out. But going against the Nets, something to consider here. This guy's been rolling in the past 3 games. So something to consider here. He probably going to still be low owned. But like this spot for Isaiah Hartenstein from Houston. All right, let's look to our last play at center. Obvious play here is Hassan Whiteside going against Washington. No one is able to stop this guy on Washington. He's 9,300, 95 on DraftKings, but he's balling, y'all. 46, 54, 46 in the last 3 games. He has 2 50 fantasy point games against Washington. He did have that dud against them last game, but 50 and 50 should be a great play here. All right, we also got to look at Joel Embiid going against Houston, but they say he's probable to play today, so he should be able to play. A nice little pivot from Whiteside. We want to pivot from the chalk, but he still should be high owned. But I think Hassan Whiteside is the obvious play here. But Joel Embiid's in a great spot here. He has 65, 46, 39, 51 in the last 4 games against Houston. Great play for him. Another guy you can look into for some savings, Enes Kanter, 5,200, 55 on DraftKings. Too cheap here. He had that 51 last game here. He's balled out of control, and he had 22 minutes. You know, he's that fantasy point monster when he gets that great position. You know, he's 1.34 fantasy points per minute on the court, y'all. So he is a fantasy point monster. Going against ATL, they're 15th against the position, but they're last overall in defense. So somebody can consider here for some savings in your lines, y'all. So I love this is what I like here. So if you like the plays, give a thumbs up. Any questions or concerns, comment below. Using Draft Dashboard tools, you already know. If you want access to my player pool, click the link in the description and sign up. Once you sign up, you have access to the NBA cheat sheets, give you the best plays of the slate without doing research. You have access to the sleepers and your studs, access to the players trends, like I stated before, with the fantasy monsters, who's hot, who's not, all that good stuff on there. You also have access to the watch players to give you access to your player pool, and you'll see my plays up top. Click on Watch Melo's DFS picks for either DraftKings or FanDuel. Also, I've been telling you recently, in a lot of optimizer, they added a new tool to make a selection for your GPP or cash plays. So definitely check that out, man. It's an awesome tool, especially in cash. If you want to build your bankroll with the head-to-head and double ups. But if you want to do that GPP takedown, go in the GPP section and do what you got to do, all right? But I love y'all, man. Y'all collect that bag. It's Melo DFS, and y'all stay blessed. And I'll see y'all in the next video.